okay, right? Flex with your Javed, sir, right? The only gym, sir, in Sri Lanka, right? The only gym, sir, in Sri Lanka. Am I not, am I not right? So coming back to the point, you need to be, you got to have energy when you teach, right? So I just came back from the gym. That's why I'm really sweating. But that's all right. That's all right. I will give you the knowledge that you need to hold your head high up in the exam. That being said, we are going to take you into the session. We're going to talk about, and also share the hell out of the link, okay? Share it as much as you can. You guys, that is the biggest help that you can do to your Javed, sir. All right? Thanks a lot, by the way, Anisa. All right, thanks a lot. I'm a literature teacher, right, Nangi? So, of course, my English is good. And literature students, my students also improve immensely in their English. So, obviously, can I send the link to your WhatsApp number, Zainab? Actually, I don't think I can, Nangi. Can you open up WhatsApp web? Open up WhatsApp web in your computer, in your laptop, and then you can copy and paste the link, right? That is the best thing that you guys can do. So again, I need your help to get the word out, to give our pupils the best version of the subject, okay? That is what I want to do. I want to give our pupils the best version of the subject. Today, we are going to, all right, today, we are going to talk about the vendor of sweets. But then, when a lot of pupils learn the vendor of sweets, the problem is they focus on the chapters. They're like, sir, can you teach me chapter 3 in the vendor of sweets? Sir, I want to know how many chapters will be given in the grade 10 third term exam. That is not how you learn novels. Now, I have taught, because again, I teach the local syllabus, I teach the Edexcel syllabus, all right? I teach grade 9, grade 10, grade 11, grade 12. If you go into isaac.com, you might see all of the classes that I teach, all right? So I teach Edexcel Lit, I teach for the local syllabus, I teach A-level, I teach O-level. So I have taught around 20 novels, okay? Not just the vendor of sweets, not just bringing Tony home, not just the Prince and the Pauper. I've taught 20 novels in my, I'm giving you an estimated number, nearly 20 or slightly above 20. Out of these novels, you should never, all right, never learn the novel chapter by chapter. That is a huge mistake. That is a huge mistake. I'll tell you why. Because in the exam, so you learn the novel for the exam, right? The reason why you learn the novel is because you want to succeed in the exam. In the exam, they will not, I don't teach the Cambridge syllabus, sadly, Sharuni, I don't have time. So I teach Edexcel and local. And then there's an American syllabus that I teach. That's it. I don't have time to teach the Cambridge syllabus, sadly. So the exam will depend on the characters. All right? Remember that. So you can even write this note down. If you have a notebook open, you can write it down. Do not learn chapter by chapter, okay? Do not learn chapter by chapter. In the exam, will they ask you, what happened in chapter number 3 of the vendor of sweets? Never write. If you look at past paper questions, Nangis and Mallis, do they ask you about the chapters or do they ask you about the characters? What do you guys think? In the vendor of sweets, do they ask you about the chapters or the characters? They will only ask you about the characters. If you go through past paper questions, you will realize that in the vendor of sweets, In any novel, okay, O-level novels, A-level novels, Cambridge, edXL, local syllabus, right, national syllabus, it does not matter. In any novel, they will ask you about the characters. So you better learn about the characters. Don't waste time learning about the summary of the novel. Don't waste time learning about chapter 1, chapter 2, chapter 3. No. Learn about the characters. So when you learn about a character, will that character be limited to one chapter? Or will that character be in a spectrum of many chapters? What do you guys think? The character will be a spectrum, right, in many chapters, right, Nangis and Mallis? The character will be in many chapters. I hope you guys can understand, okay? So that is what we're going to be doing today. We are going to be learning about a principal character. Principal means main. A principal character, all right, of the vendor of sweets. That is Grace's character. If you don't know who Grace is, I will teach you. If you don't know why you need to learn about Grace's character, that also I shall teach you. And if you don't know how to use Grace's character in the exam, that also I shall teach you, Nangis and Mallis. So why are we here? We're here to learn about the vendor of sweets. What are we going to learn about? We're going to be learning about Grace's character in the vendor of sweets. Why are we learning about characters in the vendor of sweets? We're learning about characters because the exam demands you to. Nangis, the exam demands you to learn about characters, all right? Therefore, the character that we are going to be learning about today is one of the principal characters of the vendor of sweets. The character is none other than Grace's character. That being said, let's jump into our session. Again, I remind you kindly, if you can, share this with your friends. We're doing this for free. A lot of online seminars are expensive these days. We have expensive seminars in isaac.com, but I want to do this for free for the pupils who might not be able to afford the paid seminars, especially the quality online paid seminars. Within the next few seconds, we're gonna aggressively begin to learn about the vendor of sweets. I hope that you Nangis and Mallis are ready. I hope that you Nangis and Mallis are ready. Within the next few seconds, we're gonna be learning about the principal character of the vendor of sweets. I'm sure some of you might have read the novel, but many of you might not have. Is that a problem? If a pupil hasn't read the novel, is that pupil in trouble? What do you guys think? It's not a problem, okay? Listen to me, believe me. How many words do you have in the novel? Around 60,000 words, right? 60,000 words. Will you use all those 60,000 words in the exam? Is that possible? No, right? The novel is only quarter of your syllabus. What is the fraction, right? What is the piece of the syllabus that your novel takes up? Your novel only takes up quarter of your syllabus. There is no point of reading the whole novel. You can't use it in the exam. But you can learn, you can memorize the important extracts from the novel. That's how you learn it. Remember, my chuti nangis and mallis. Reading and studying are two different things. Just because you read something does not mean that you are studying. So my advice is to study the novel under the proper guidance of a qualified educator. So to teach you Nangis and Mallis, I have a valuable presentation here for your perusal. To teach you Nangis and Mallis, I've got a valuable presentation here that you can go through. After the session is over, I will share this PDF with you. If you can drop a message to Javed sir's personal number, it is not 779639434. If you need the PDF, right? If you want the PDF, or if you want to join our online and physical classes, right? Join online, join physical. You can drop your Javedaya a message if you want help regarding O-level and A-level lit. Remember, O-level and A-level kiyanne for national syllabus and Edexcel. All right? So any of these topics I can cover. If you guys need help regarding the O-level syllabus, the A-level syllabus, Edexcel National, drop Javed Dayar a message. I shall help you. If you want to join physical, join online. I can't forget. Where does Javed sir do physical? Colombo, which I love. I'm from Colombo. I'm a Colombo Kolek. And then we can't forget. Javed sir also loves Candy. These are the Candy Kane Taumo, okay? Not our Kalavak wage, not Daula Gala, not like, not like Kala Pradesha. Candy means the town, okay? Mahayava, right? Near Trinity College. Near Trinity College, right, Candy? Near Trinity College. You guys might know the place. Exactly, Hanisha. You know, right? Shima, hi. So I hope that you guys can understand what we're going to do here. Exactly, Sharuni, right? Javed says an Iron Man, right? An unbreakable Iron Man. So I teach in Colombo and Kandy. Two different places. Very soon I'll be starting a lecturing position in Jaffna also. So Colombo, Kandy, and Jaffna. That's how dedicated I am, okay? Speaking of dedication, we're going to be talking about Grace's character. And I love, and what's going on, Hafsa? I have an intro section for Grace's character. Don't write this down. Write nothing down, okay? You guys can take screenshots and then the PDF will be available in the end of this session for your perusal. Your Javedaya will make it available. Why do we learn an intro section? The intro section is a theory part. I think you guys know what theory is. Theory means you're learning about the syllabus, okay? The intro section is a theory part, okay? In maths, you have theory. In science, you have theory. But then the intro section is a theory part that is exam compatible. That means you can use this theory as it is in the exam. You don't have to make changes. You don't have to process the theory. You can use the theory as it is in the exam. You're from Trinity, Ammar. That's amazing. Tell your friends, man, join. I'm in Regency. Candy Regency, man. Tell your friends, join Candy Regency. Let's take over Candy, Ammar. Let's take over Candy. All right. That's great, Sajid, okay? Let's take over Candy together. And I teach all three novels. The Vendor of Sweets is just one of the novels that I teach. Jagan's so-called daughter-in-law. So, kauda me Grace bole, right? Who is this Grace? Grace is Jagan's so-called daughter-in-law. Why do I call Grace Jagan's so-called? Summa perik, right? So-called means summa perik. Namata vitarak, right? Is she really married to Jagan's son Mali, or is she not? She's not married, right? Haram. She's not married to Jagan's real son, Mali. So therefore, she's not really Jagan's daughter-in-law. She is Jagan's so-called daughter-in-law. Grace is a vital character who contributes. If you don't know what contributes means gives. Contributes to the plot dynamics of the vendor of sweets. Jagan's so-called daughter-in-law, Grace, is a principal character. She is a valuable character who contributes to the plot dynamics of the vendor of sweets. Look at the professional writing. This is how you are expected to write in the exam. Whatever you do, don't write like a grade 6 child. The Vendor of Sweets is a nice novel. There is a character called Grace. Grace is Jagan's so-called daughter-in-law. Don't write like a grade 6 pupil. It is very difficult to get an A if your writing is not professional. It is not difficult to write like this. Javed will train you, especially if you are a 25, 26 batch pupil. Your Javed will train you. So as I was saying, the plot dynamics, that means the story, right? Story means plot. Dynamics means changing. So the story changes, right? It's not a linear story. There are ups and downs in the story. And though Grace is initially perceived as a casteless beef-eating Christian girl, you can write this down also, only this. Casteless beef-eating Christian girl. So is she a traditional Indian daughter-in-law? No. Mali brings her from America, right? Marley goes to America. If you don't know who Marley is, right? Not Bob Marley, Jagan's Marley, right? If you don't know who Marley is, remember, there is Jagan. Jagan is the watagonist. Jagan is the protagonist. He is the main character. We call him protagonist. He is the main character. Then Jagan's son, his pair is Mali, right? Mali goes to America to learn writing. Goes to America or travels to America to become a writer. All right? And then Grace, right? He brings Grace back. He brings Grace back. Grace is brought back. Mali brings Grace back. All right. Now, for example, let's say that when you become an adult, not now, not as a teenager, when you become an adult and you fall in love with someone, right? You take them to your home and introduce them to your mama and dada, right? Umma, Papa, dada. Here's my future wife, right? When you're an adult, okay? When you are an adult, not now, not before the O-levels, okay? Don't tell Javed se tamaki huwe. No, I mean, when you become an adult, you can take your future partner home and introduce them to your father or mother, right? So Mali takes Grace or brings Grace back to India, or Grace, right? Grace, who is a Korean American. Remember, Grace is a Korean American. That means she was born in America, but originally she is a Korean. All right? That means she is a American with Korean ethnicity, kind of like, you know, in Blackpink, there's Lisa, you guys might know, in the girl band, Korean girl pop band. There's Blackpink, right? There's Lisa, right? In Blackpink, there's Lisa. She's also a Korean American, I think, right? So Grace is an American. That means she lives in America, but she is originally from Korea, right? I'm going to move forward. How about Rose, though, Amira? Isn't Rose or Rose, isn't she a Korean American? You're going to tell me she's Korean, Australian now. Holy shit. Almost there. Almost there, okay? Be happy that I at least know their names. Be happy that I at least know their names. So this is what happened, by the way, okay? So Grace is a Korean American, and Grace is brought back to India, right? Is brought back to India. So who brings Grace back to India? Is brought back, Mali, right? Is brought back to India. So what do you think about Jagan's reaction? Will Jagan be happy? Monday, my son has bought a Vellakari as a daughter-in-law. I'm very happy. The grandchildren will be Vellakarival and Vellakaranval. No, right? Why is Jagan upset? Because Jagan is Jagan modern or is Jagan a traditionalist? Jagan is a traditionalist, right? Isn't Jagan a traditionalist? Is Mali a traditionalist? No, Mali is a modernist. Not modernist, modernist. That's why he married an American girl, right? Mali is a modernist. You can take a screenshot, by the way. So I'll take you guys through the note very quickly. We have a better note, okay? We have a better note, a better presentation, by the way. And yes, recordings will be available in our YouTube channel. You guys can access it whenever it's convenient. Take a screenshot. Sat Pat Chat Gala. Let me take you through the note. Jagan is the protagonist. He is the vendor of sweets. That's why the novel is called The Vendor of Sweets. Now, Baba in the Eagle by Alfred Lord Tennyson. What is the poem about, or who is the poem about? It is about an eagle. In, let's say, in the poem To the Nile by John Keats, what is the poem about? The River Nile, right? So you see that the topic itself tells you a lot about the lesson, right? Don't you agree? The eagle is about an eagle. The River Nile, the poem To the Nile is about the River Nile. The Vendor of Sweets is about a sweet vendor. What is the name of the sweet vendor? His name is Jagan. He is the protagonist. And also share my link, okay? If you joined just now, do your Javed a favor and share this link as much as you can. Spread the word, man. Spread the word. Get the word out. Help your Javed help Sri Lankan pupils, okay? Help your Javed help Sri Lankan pupils learn lit. So Jagan's son's name is Mali, not Bruce Lee, Mali. And Mali travels to America to become a writer. Does he come home empty-handed, or does he bring a pokisham? He brings a pokisham, right? If you don't know what pokisham is, even I don't know what pokisham is. But that's okay. He brings Grace. Jagan, Mali goes to America to become a writer, but he brings back a Korean American girl. He introduces her as his wife. But then is she really his wife? Nahi hai. She's not really his wife. Pokisha means treasure. That's true, man. Of course. Of course, right? Girls are pokishams, right? If you think about it. All right. So one more time, Jagan's so-called daughter-in-law, you can write this also down. Write down what I highlight. Jagan's so-called daughter-in-law, Grace, is a vital character who contributes to the plot dynamics of The Vendor of Sweets. And though she is initially perceived as a casteless, beef-eating Christian girl, Jagan soon becomes accustomed to her presence. while appreciating her feminine aura. That means Jagan starts liking Grace Baba. That happens in the novel, okay? Jagan starts liking Grace. What's the expected question in the vendor of sweets? We'll talk about that, Mariam, okay? So at the moment, we are learning about Grace's character. Jagan starts liking Grace, even though Jagan was a little bit upset in the beginning. Jagan is a traditionalist. Grace is a... How is Grace perceived? Casteless, beef-eating Christian girl. So Hindus, I mean, traditional people don't like people from other religions, right? So caste is like a social level, a social group, right? A social group. In Tamil, they say jadi, right? Jadi, male jadi, keel jadi. Have you heard of them, Aina? Male jadi, keel jadi. In so many Tamil movies, you find the perception, or you find the concept of caste. Not rich or poor, no. Caste is like a special category that people are born into. It's called kulaya. In Sinhalese, we say kulaya. In Kandy, right? In Kandy also, there are some people with castes. So it's called kulaya, kulaya. In Sinhalese, in Tamil, they say jadi, male jadi, keel jadi. That is what you call caste. So I'll give you an example for caste, all right? Now, let's Google caste system, India, all right? And then you're going to see a hierarchy. You're going to see a hierarchy, right? Now, here's an example for the caste system. There is the Brahmins, right? Here's an example for the caste system, okay? There are the Brahmins, then there is the, I can't even read this word. Can you see? These are castes, right? But then, does Javed sir have a caste? Does Javed sir have a caste? No, right? Because I'm not Hindu. I'm Muslim. Muslim people don't have castes. Christian people, do they have castes? No, they don't have castes. Mainly, Sinhalese and Hindu people, right? Sinhalese and Hindu people, Buddhists and Hindu people, they have castes. Not all Sinhalese and Hindu people have castes, okay? So Grace is called casteless, all right? Grace is called casteless. That means she does not have a caste. Because she was born in India as a Hindu, or was she born in America? Grace was born in America. Jagan soon becomes accustomed to her presence while appreciating her feminine aura. So again, I've talked about this word many times, all right? So when there is a house with responsible women, responsible, okay? Not mudevival, I'm talking about responsible women. Does that house become pleasant or unpleasant? What do you guys think? Becomes pleasant, right? The house becomes pleasant. So Grace, or look at Javed sir's house, right? It's not pleasant because there is no positive feminine aura in Javed sir's house. All right? So coming back to the point, as I was saying, Jagan appreciates her feminine aura. We'll talk about these. There are so many questions in the chat. So while going forward, we'll talk about the questions, okay? All of the doubts that you have about Grace's character is in this presentation. If you want this presentation, stick around until the end of the seminar. I will share it with you guys. So, Ammar asks, what's my age? How old do I look, Ammar? How old do I look? You'll guess properly, man. Everyone guesses properly, though. So coming back to the point, and guess honestly, okay, Ammar? Guess honestly. Thank you so much for, all right. Everyone says mid-20s. I'm actually 30. Everyone says mid-20s. I'm actually 30. So gonna move forward. I'm an old bugger, right? I keep in good shape. That's the reason. I keep up with my good shape. All right. So I'm like the strongest teacher in Sri Lanka, right? The strongest, the most muscular teacher in Sri Lanka. All right. Gonna move forward. And accordingly, Grace strives to fulfill the role of a conventional Indian daughter in law, right? So she tries to fulfill the role of a traditional Indian daughter in law. But is Grace really a traditional Indian daughter in law? Yes or no? Is Grace really a traditional Indian daughter in law? No. The reason is she's casteless. She doesn't have a jadi. She's casteless. And then she is a beef eating Christian girl. So, a beef eating Christian girl who is casteless cannot be a traditional Indian daughter in law. All right. So, coming back to the point, you see that Jagan begins to appreciate Grace's feminine aura. All right. So, what is feminine aura? It is the positivity that you get in your life when there are responsible, pleasant women in your life. All right. I will not talk about that a lot. You can write down the highlighted parts, okay? Appreciating her feminine aura. Who appreciates her feminine aura? Jagan. Jagan is the protagonist. Grace is a supporting character who is important. Nevertheless, it is later speculated that Grace's thoughtfulness could have been part of a ploy to convince Jagan into investing in Mali's business perspectives. Baba, what does that mean? So Grace tries to convince. Grace has a master plan. Nalla game onda adika poranga. Alright? Mara gameak denna yanne. Grace and Mali. They have a plan to convince Jagan into investing in Mali's business. Alright? They want Jagan to invest. Invest means enna poda. Salli poda, right? You can't go and you can't invest like that, right? You got to go and salli poda. So Grace and Mali, they try to convince Jagan to invest money in Mali's business. They try to make Jagan invest money in Mali's business. What is Mali's business? He wants to found a story writing machine factory. All right, I'll even give you a small note on the bottom. You can write down the highlighted parts, okay? What is Mali's business perspectives? What is Mali's business perspective? It is to found a story. Found means make, build, found means build. In English, some words have many meanings. Found is a word like that. To found a story writing machine factory. To found a story writing machine factory. So Grace wants Jagan to invest money in Mali's business. All right? So nalla game onda adikiranga. Convince means change the mind. Right? Change the mind. Convince. Convince pannonum, they say in Tamil movies, right? Convince pannonum. Umma vapava convince pannonum. Trippondu pova umma vapava convince pannonum. So Grace's tale ends as a tragedy, as she is left stranded after her relationship with Mali diminishes. Who brought Grace to India? Javed sir. Jagan. Plain. Who brought Grace to India? It was Mali. What did Mali do to Grace in the end of the novel? He said, chip, chip. Mata umba ඕනේ නැහැ, right? And he sent her away, right? Marley dumped Grace in the ending of the novel. So Grace's story, does she get a happy ending or Allah Pavam, sad ending? Grace gets a, like Javed sir, right? Like Javed sir. Grace gets a Allah Pavam, sad ending. All right? Like Javed sir. Grace's tale ends as a tragedy as she is left stranded. That's why Javed sir, 30 வயசாவது இன்னும் கல்யாணம் முடிக்கல, right? Sad. 30 வயசாவது, right? That's why Javed sir is still single. Tragedy, right? Tragedy hurts. Tragedy. Tragedy means a sad ending, okay? You guys can write down the highlighted parts. Tragedy කියන්නේ sad ending as she is left stranded, right? What is stranded? Yana එනමං නෑ, right? Yana එනමං නෑ, right? Stranded. All right? Stranded. Yana එනමං නෑ, right? After her relationship with Mali diminishes. And it is Jagan who resolves to pay for her return flight to America for the courtesy of once recognizing her as a good girl. Once, Jagan thought that Grace was a good girl. Is she really, though? Is Grace really a good girl? The simple answer is we don't know. All right? The simple answer is thanks a lot, Saif. Okay. Saif says I'll find a spouse soon. Hopefully, Saif. Okay, hopefully. If you know some dadas or aunties, aunties are also aulak Saif, right? If you know some datas or aunties, tell them about Javed sir and tell them to join Javed sir's classes. Okay. So, as I was saying, all right, as I was saying, this is Grace's character that we're talking about. Now, Baba, tell me this. In this slide, do we have everything about Grace's character? Yes. Pudumai, එහෙත් ඇත්ත. In this slide, you have everything about Grace's character. If you were to read the novel and learn this, it will take many months. If you were to learn this by reading the novel, it would take many months. But because you have a teacher, you have an educator, it is my job to give you the shortcut. A teacher's job is not to give you homework, not to scold you, right? Not to ask you to shh, not to ask you to be silent. A teacher's job is not to punish. A teacher's job is to make your studying journey easy, right? A teacher's job is to make your studying journey easy. I hope that this intro section has made your studying journey easy. I'll give you guys a minute, okay? Only a minute, only 1 minute. And by the way, if you guys need help with literature, right? If you guys need help with lit, I shall put my phone number somewhere here on top. 779639434. Drop a WhatsApp message if you need help with lit, O-level lit, A-level lit, edXL lit, national syllabus. Doesn't matter. I will give you guys 3 minutes, okay? You guys can write down the highlighted parts or you guys can take a screenshot. All right. Hope you guys are all caught up. Let's move forward then. So Nangis and Malis, tell me this. You do not need to read the whole novel to learn about the vendor of sweets. You only have to focus on the important extracts. That is a must, okay? Whatever said and done, Taiba asks me, how did you lose weight? Taiba, do you know me personally? Do you know me personally, Taiba? Got my heart broken, Taiba, and then stopped eating. மனசு உடைஞ்சு தின்னாம இருந்தேன். அப்படியே கடந்து இருந்தேன். எதுவுமே தின்னாம. Depressionல புழுந்தேன். That's how I lost weight. So coming back to the point, you don't have to read the entire novel, but you must read. You must read. You must read the important extracts. Because without the important extracts, you cannot answer the part A novel question, nor can you answer the analysis question for the novel. One more time. How do you learn about the novel? You learn about the novel through the important extracts. We'll be done by 6, okay? Sharp 6 will be done. So got only one more hour with your Javed Daya. Let's make the maximum benefit. Let's take the maximum benefit out of the session. So this is Grace's character outline. So this is like a summary, all right? This is like a summary of Grace's character. You guys can take a screenshot or you can approach me after the session so I can share the PDF with you. Grace is introduced to Jagan at the railway station. All right, that's the first time Jagan meets Grace. Who brought Grace from America? Marley did, right? Marley brought Grace from America. Grace is first introduced to Jagan at the railway station. Grace tries to fulfill the role of an Indian daughter-in-law. What do you mean by the role here? What does role? And the samusa oda thinnave, nombu thorakumbodhu. What does this role mean? This role, absolutely, Sharuni, you are right, character, right? She tries to fulfill the character of an Indian daughter-in-law by cleaning Jagan's house. So she cleans Jagan's house, all right, to fulfill the character of an Indian daughter-in-law. But is she really an Indian daughter-in-law? Sadly, no, right? Dukai. Ayyo Pavam, she is not an Indian daughter-in-law because she is casteless, all right? Casteless. She doesn't have a jadi, right? She doesn't have a jadi. She is casteless. Do you have a caste, Sharuni? Because you're Hindu, right? Do you have a caste, Nangi? And then she is a beef eating. Do Hindus eat beef? No, right? No, Sharuni, seriously. You want me to give you a caste? What caste do you want? I'll not put that in. What caste do you want? Beef eating. Ask me now, Sharuni. Beef eating Christian girl. Right? This is the reason why Grace cannot be a traditional daughter-in-law. This is the reason why Grace cannot be a traditional daughter-in-law, an orthodox daughter-in-law. Why? She is casteless, doesn't have a jadi. She is a beef eater, right? Mamisam tinnere, right? And then she is Christian. These are the reasons why their Grace cannot be recognized as a daughter-in-law. What do you mean by protagonist? Protagonist, kyanne, the main character. Now tell me, Aina, who is the main character of the vendor of sweets? Grace or Jagan? Absolutely, Mubashara, you are right. It is Jagan. Jagan is the protagonist. So Grace tries to fulfill the role of an Indian daughter-in-law. Jagan learns, now this part is not that important, but Jagan learns that the letters he received from Mali were actually written by Grace. By observing our ancestors, our family is. I like that word, by the way. It's a very nice sounding word. Good, Sharuni. Good. I'm very happy for you. You want a promotion, Sharuni? You want to become Brahmin? Give me a call. You want me to make you a Brahmin? All right, just give me a call. I'll get it. I'll let it happen. Okay. Javed sir can do anything, so don't worry. Proud of you, by the way, Sharuni. So coming back to the point. So do you understand? Do you understand, Nangis and Malis, that Jagan received letters from Mali while Mali was in America? Why did Mali go to America? Mali wanted to become a writer. That's why he went to America. But this is about Grace's character. This session is dedicated towards learning about Grace's character. So remember that Mali was not the person who wrote these airmail letters. It was Grace. Grace was the person who composed the airmail letters. Why did Mali not write the airmail letters? Does Mali care about Jagan, or does Mali not care about Jagan? What do you guys think? Mali and Jagan's relationship, is it a healthy relationship or is it a dysfunctional relationship? You guys can learn this word today. It is in our syllabus. The relationship between Jagan, right? Jagan is the father. Mali is the son, is a dysfunctional relationship. Is a dysfunctional relationship. What do you can write this down, okay? Dysfunctional relationship. Dysfunctional means not working properly. Not working properly. Dysfunctional kiyan. Absolutely well done, Aina. Well done, Hafsa. You're right, Aina. There's another Aina also. You're right, Mubashara. All right. Strained is also fine, Sharuni, but in our syllabus, we like using the word dysfunctional. Have you learned about breakfast? Did you have your breakfast, Sharuni? Breakfast, have you learned about it? By Jacques Prévert, the poem. Do you remember Father and Son by Cat Stevens? Do you remember The Clown's Wife? The poem The Clown's Wife by Johnson Agard? Absolutely, Yushra. So do you know that all of these relationships are dysfunctional relationships? You do, right? All of these lessons, the vendor of sweets, breakfast, father and son, the clown's wife, all of these lessons are based on dysfunctional relationships. Now, when there is a dysfunctional relationship, will the characters talk to each other, or is there a lack of communication? There is a lack of communication, right? And again, if you guys want to join Javed Ayya's sessions, please drop me a WhatsApp message, not 779639434. My admin or I personally will get back to you. There is a, well done, there is a lack of communication. Pesaranga illa. Katha karanne naha, right? In all of these lessons, is Mali talking with Jagan? Does Mali like talking with Jagan? No, dysfunctional. In breakfast, do the spouses talk to each other? No. No. Father and son, does the father and son talk with each other? Never. Clown's wife, does the clown talk with his wife about the problems? No. There is a dysfunctional relationship. There is a dysfunctional relationship. What is the theme of breakfast? Conflict, conflict. Breakfast is a conflict poem. Father and son is a life poem. The clown's wife is also a life poem. All right? So, we're going to move forward. You can take a screenshot, by the way, or you can write this down. All right? So the word that we like to use in our syllabus is dysfunctional relationship. Actually, no, Aina, all the lessons are easy in the O-level syllabus. I'll make them easy for you, Aina, okay? I'll make the lessons easy for you. Now, for example, to the Evening Star, to the Nile, yeah, they can be a bit difficult. By the way, if there is anyone from Colombo here, tomorrow in Kolonnava Yatra, we're going to have a physical seminar. And in the physical seminar, we're going to cover the nature poems. Tomorrow, in Kolonnava Yatra, tomorrow, and day after, in Maradana Yatra, we're going to have a physical session. And in this physical session, if you live in Colombo, by the way, close by to Kolonnava, near Maradana, right? I advise you to join the physical session tomorrow or the day after. In this, all right, in this session, we are going to be learning the nature poems. So there's going to be a valuable printed tutorial that will be given to you guys. That will be also a huge help for the exam. Not only that, we also have an online seminar series. If you are from the 2025 batch, we also have an online seminar series that will cover the entire syllabus, starting on the 25th of this month. Only 4 more days, right? So we're going to be learning about the life poems. We're going to be learning the 2 dramas. We're going to be learning the 4 short stories. We're going to be learning all 3 of the novels in these sessions. So you guys, if you want to join any of these sessions, if you want to join physically, right? We have physical classes in Kandy Regency. We have physical classes in Maradana and Kolonnava. If you guys want to join our online classes, now these are our online classes. You can drop a WhatsApp message to any number, any of the 2 numbers. And we would love to see you guys in our classes. All right. Actually, Zainab, you have to. Clown's wife is not humor, right? Clown's wife is a life poem, right? The Clown's wife is a life poem. Absolutely, Aina. In Isaac.com, you guys can join your Javed Daya's online classes. Even recordings will be available in Isaac.com. Even recordings will be available in Isaac.com. This is one of the very few websites where recordings are hosted. So you will never miss a session. If you miss a session, you can always go through the recording of the session. All right, we've got a lot of value we have to give you guys. So again, if you guys want the PDF tutorial, and if you want to join Javed Daya's physical classes in Kandy, Colombo, if you want to join our online classes, online seminars, physical seminars, you guys can drop a WhatsApp message, not 77963 9434. Screenshot එකක් ගහගන්න. Yeah, we fixed the My Calendar feature, Shahada. We can fix so many things, Shahada, but what can't we fix? Javed sir's heart. That's the only thing that we can't fix. Everything else we can fix. Your O-level exam results, we can fix. Isaac.com, we can fix. Any problem in life, Javed sir will fix. except Javed sir's heart. Gonna move forward then. As I was saying, Jagan, all right. So I told you guys, right? Grace tries to become very kind with Jagan, right? Grace tries to become kind with Jagan. Hafsa asks, why, sir? That's a long story, Hafsa. That's a koduramana story on Nasama story on. So I hope you guys know that Grace tries to trouble Jagan and get him to invest money in Mali's story writing machine factory. But what happens in the end to Grace? Does Mali accept her as his wife? Or does he reject Grace? What do you think, Nangis and Ma? Is this, my God, Sharfa, are you going to jump inside the river? Tell me where the river is. I also want to jump inside this river and commit suicide. So coming back to the point, where is that? Where is it? Tell me the location. Tell me the location, Nangi. That's it. That's all I want, okay? So as I was saying, after the seminar, okay, I shall jump in that river. So coming back to the point, Beragala Lake. Of course, why not? Send me the location, Saif. Send me the location. So coming back to the point, now we're going to look at the important extracts. We're going to look at the important extracts, Nangis and Mallis. Why do you need the important extracts? Because they will provide you with proof, right? In the exam, they will act as proof in the exam. So learn the important extracts. I'll give them to you one by one. Take a look at this, by the way. Take a look at this, by the way. This is when Grace was introduced to Jagan. Thanks a lot, by the way, Sharfa. Okay, it's an honor to be called your teacher. Don't jump in that lake. I was joking. Don't jump in that lake. I can't lose students. I can't lose students. So don't jump in the lake. So coming back to the point, and please reach out if you want the printed, if you want the PDF, please drop a WhatsApp message to this number that you see on your screen. Printed tutorials are also there for the paying students, but I'll send you the PDF tutorial for free. When Jagan, all right, is introduced to Grace, what is his reaction? What is his reaction? Absolutely, Ammar. I desperately need the cousin's support. Exactly, he's shocked. You're right, Nangi. Complete confusion. Married? When were you married? You didn't tell me. Don't you have to tell your father? So, this is you is Mali, right? You is Mali Neda. Married? When were you married? Now imagine if you go home after getting married suddenly, right? Didirna, if you get married and go home and tell your mama and dada, they are also going to be shocked, right? They are also going to be shocked. So Jagan's reaction is not a surprise to the reader. Jagan's reaction is very natural. Married? When were you married? You didn't tell me. Don't you have to tell your father? Who is she? Anyway, so who is Jagan talking about? He's talking about Grace. Who is she? Anyway, she looks like a Chinese. Don't you know that one can't marry a Chinese nowadays? They have invaded India's borders. So there was a war between China and India, a very small border dispute. Or perhaps she is Japanese. How was one to find out? But tell me, now this is a very strong reaction, right? This is a very strong reaction, right? Did Jagan verbalize this? Did he talk out loud? Or did he manasale esine? Jagan manasale esine, right? Jagan did not verbalize, he did not vocalize his disappointment. Why did Jagan not vocalize his disappointment. Jagan is a cowardly father. Okay? Jagan is a cowardly father. Jagan does not tell this to Mali. Jagan tells this to himself. It's called mind voice, right? It's called mind voice. So, I hope that you Nangis and Mallis can understand that even though Jagan was upset when he found out that Mali had married a Hindu girl, a traditional Hindu girl, or a beef-eating Christian girl. A beef-eating Christian girl. Jagan was upset, but Jagan did not vocalize his emotions. Jagan was silent. Jagan told himself this because Jagan is a cowardly father. Jagan doesn't like or doesn't want to upset Mali. Jagan doesn't want to upset Mali. Coming back to the point. All right? Coming back to the point. So, what is this trend of girls posting pictures of themselves from the back, Hafsa? All right. So you're the second pupil I see in the class who has posted a picture of her from the back. Okay, that's fine. We're not judging. We're not judging. Coming back to the point. All right. Coming back to the point. All right. We prefer not to show our faces, of course. What do you prefer showing? What do you prefer showing? So, you don't have to write this down, but you can understand the situation, right? But then, is Grace really a Japanese or Chinese? Is Grace really a Japanese or Chinese? What do you guys think? No, she's a Korean American, right? Well done, Hana. She's neither. You're right, Saif. She is a Korean American. Oh, no, you don't have to write large extracts. When memorizing Aina, you only have to memorize the important parts. For example, complete confusion. Married? When were you married? You didn't tell me. You can memorize a small sliver of the extract. You don't have to memorize the bulk of it. But then I have put the bulk of the extract for you to read. From what chapter have we taken this extract? From what chapter have we taken this extract? It's taken from chapter number 5, right? It's given here in the foot, chapter number 5. So Jagan was upset when he met Grace, but he did not show his true emotions because he was a cowardly father. Why was Jagan upset? Because Jagan is a traditionalist. He is a traditionalist. That's why Jagan was upset. So we can move forward, by the way. I told you guys, so I'm skipping a few slides, but when you get the PDF, you can read all of these one by one. What does Grace try to do after she moves into a Jagan's house? Oh, no, you don't have to mention the chapter in the paper, okay? Only a small piece of the extract is good enough. By the way, make sure, the reason that I have mentioned the chapter is because you guys can study using the extract, right? With confidence, you can go through the extract. That's why I have mentioned the chapter. You don't have to mention the chapter in the exam. So how does Grace fulfill the role of a traditional Indian daughter-in-law? How do traditional women behave? Do they go to a job or do they keep the house together? They keep the house together, right? They convert the house into a pleasant environment. Now, for example, you might have noticed this. When mama is not well, the house collapses, right? The dishes are not done, the food is not cooked, right? House feels very uncomfortable. Have you noticed that? When mama is not well, all right? But when mama is pleasant, right? The house is pleasant. Can you guys understand? When mama is pleasant, the environment of the house becomes pleasant. Now, that is what Grace is trying to do. She is trying to fulfill the role of a traditional Indian daughter-in-law. So Grace said she washed the vessels in Jagan's kitchen and arranged them neatly on a shelf. His protests went unheeded. Grace said from the kitchen, "Another day I will clean up that cupboard for you. We need to do some spring cleaning in this house." Jagan, aghast at the implication, said with some intensity, "Don't do anything yet. You can even memorize this part. We need to do some spring cleaning in this house." So why does Grace want to do spring cleaning? You can only write this, Sharuni. We need to do some spring cleaning in this house. If Grace was wanted to be a modern daughter-in-law, would she want to clean the house and convert it into a pleasant environment? No. In Tamil, they say, "Kaalu mela kaalu potu," right? She would have relaxed. But the reason why she wanted to perform spring cleaning was because she was a traditional daughter-in-law. Grace is a traditional daughter-in-law. She's not. She's trying to become, right? Okay, can you understand? She is a Korean American. She is a modern girl, but she is trying to become a traditional daughter-in-law. But why? Why is she trying to become a traditional daughter-in-law? Who is she trying to impress? By becoming a traditional daughter-in-law, who is Grace trying to impress? Jagan, right? You can even write this note. I'll give you a note in the foot. By fulfilling the role of a traditional daughter-in-law, by fulfilling the role of a traditional daughter-in-law, Grace tries to impress Jagan. All right? So Grace is not doing this for no reason. She is trying to impress Jagan. Now, if you want your dada to buy you something, all right, let's say you want your dada to buy you an iPhone, laptop, how will you behave in front of your dada? Not because you're a bad child, but you will be more polite to your dada. You will speak more kindly. You will listen better, right? Exactly. You're going to behave more innocently, more obediently, more kindly, pleasantly, right? So that is what Grace is trying to do. She's trying to impress Jagan. You can write down only the note in the foot. By fulfilling the role of a traditional daughter-in-law. Exactly, Aina. It's called Enna Poosire, butter poosire, right? By fulfilling the role of a traditional daughter-in-law, Grace tries to impress Jagan. By fulfilling the role of a traditional daughter-in-law, Grace tries to impress Jagan. So what does Grace want from Jagan? What can Grace take from Jagan? What is the only thing that Jagan has? You guys know this. Now, he's a vendor of sweets. In the end, will he have sweets or money? Absolutely, well done. You're right, Aina. You are right, Ammar. He has money, right? So a vendor of sweets will not keep sweets, right? He's going to sell sweets for what? Hugs and kisses. No, money, right? So that is what Grace wants. It is not implied directly, it is not communicated directly, but it is implied that Grace wants Jagan's money. That is why Grace tries to fulfill the role of a traditional. Absolutely, you are right, Sharuni. That is why she tries to fulfill the role of a traditional daughter in law. Let's keep moving forward. She clutched the broom and raked every corner of the floor, saying, Father, you think I mind it? I don't. I must not forget that I am an Indian daughter in law. You can memorize this part. I must not forget that I am an Indian daughter in law. Jagan did not know what to say in reply and mumbled, Oh, that's true indeed. She was stooping and scrubbing the ancient granite in the kitchen at floor level, tucking up her sari, exposing her ivory-hued kneecap. So Jagan was looking at Grace's legs, which were exposed. What does this situation communicate? What do you guys think? Jagan was looking at Grace's kneecaps, okay? Sometimes they might give you this extract in the exam and ask you the situation. Are you going to say that Jagan is attracted to Grace? Or are you going to say that Grace is a foreigner? That's why Jagan is staring at her. And what's going on, Zaka? Glad you're here. Been so long, Nangi. Ifat Mariam, where have you been? So actually, remember, ivory-hued kneecaps, right? Ivory kneecaps is a metaphor, okay? Ivory kneecaps is a metaphor. It visualizes that Grace is a foreigner. That is the situation, okay? So what happened? Basically, Grace's legs were exposed while working, right? While cleaning the house, right? Grace's, excuse my drawing, I'm not an artist because I teach literature. So if I were an art teacher, right, I would have done a better job, okay? I would not teach literature. Looks like a hand or something. But Grace's legs were exposed, okay, while working in Jagan's house. Grace's legs were exposed. But then Jagan stares at her legs not because he was attracted to her. He is staring at her legs because she is a foreigner. Now, for example, if you're walking on the road in the market and you see a Vellakari, will you not automatically look at her? Will your eyes not automatically gaze upon the Vellakari? Not because you think she's beautiful, you look at her because she's a foreigner, right? Automatically, you're going to be looking at something that is different. Sometimes they might give you this extract and ask you the situation. No, Jagan is not attracted to Grace. He looks at her legs, her ivory kneecaps, because she is a foreigner. That's the main idea, okay? True, Amira. But in this situation, we have to talk about Grace being a foreigner. In this situation, okay? In reality, yes, you're right. In reality, things are different. Let's move forward. You guys can go through these slides when you are free. I will make the PDF available. So again, if you guys want this PDF and you want other PDFs, you guys can drop me a WhatsApp message through 077 9434. Jagan's sister. Now tell me, is Jagan a young man or is he an old man? Is he a Kelavan? If his son is Kalyanam Mudikira Vayasu, Jagan is a Kelavan. Jagan is nearly 60 years old, okay? Jagan's sister sends him a postcard. What does Jagan's sister do? Again, Jagan's sister is also an old lady. If Jagan is an old man, his sister has to be an old lady, nearly 60 years old. In the first chapter, Jagan was 55. But then time goes by, right, Ammar? Therefore, Jagan is nearly 60 in the novel. And yes, dude, Javed sir is Muslim, okay? So if you have any datas or aunties, right, who are Muslim, right, show them Javed sir's seminar and ask them to join Javed sir's classes. We'll select one lucky winner. We'll select one lucky winner. Even aunties are okay, right? Now it's too late. Now Javed sir is 30 years old. It's too late. So even aunties are aulak right? If you have datas, aunties, right? Show them Javed sir seminar and ask them what they think about Javed sir. Aigi poro pesuvom. Aigi poro pesuvom. So going to move forward. It shows that I'm desperate, Shahada. It shows that I'm desperate. So coming back to the point, the only reminder Jagan had from his sister was a postcard a year ago on the back of which she had written, "We are ashamed to refer to you as a brother." What is shame? Shame, ashamed, right? Why is the sister ashamed? What has Mali done? Mali has married a casteless girl. Therefore, his family members are ashamed, right? Therefore, his sister is ashamed, right? I hope you guys can understand. We are ashamed to refer to you as a brother, even when you joined Gandhi and lost all sense of caste, dining and rubbing shoulders with untouchables, going to jail and getting up to all kinds of shameful things. We didn't mind anything, but now, is it a fact that you have a beef-eating Christian girl for a daughter-in-law? I can hardly call you brother in the presence of my in-laws. No one can blame Mali with a father like you. So the sister is very upset with Jagan. Why is Jagan's sister upset with him? Because Mali has married a beef-eating Christian girl. They are traditionalists. Jagan's family is a traditional family. But Mali has married a modern girl. But now you can ask me, Javed sir, Grace is trying to become a traditional daughter-in-law. Why is that wrong? A man can try to become a woman, right? But can a man really become a woman? Nahi hai, right? Equally, Grace can try to become a traditional daughter-in-law. But can she really become a traditional daughter-in-law? Nahi hai. That is why Jagan's sister is upset. You can memorize this only. A beef-eating Christian girl for a daughter-in-law. You can memorize this in 5 seconds, right? A beef-eating Christian girl for a daughter-in-law. Is that enough for the exam? Is that enough for the exam? Absolutely. Hell yes. A beef-eating Christian girl for a daughter-in-law. You memorize those 5, 6 words and you get marks in the exam if they ask you about traditionalism, if they ask you about modernity, if they ask you about Jagan's dysfunctional relationship, if they ask you about Mali's character, if they ask you about Grace's character. You can use this extract in many situations, right? So how are you going to memorize the extract? A beef-eating Christian girl for a daughter-in-law. This Nangi. I'll even highlight it in a different color. I'll highlight it in a yellow color. So can you understand, Aina? You don't have to memorize the entire thing. Memorize the most important part. You don't have to memorize the entire thing. You only have to memorize the important part. Absolutely, Sharfa. If you have any doubts regarding your subject, do not hesitate. Drop your Javed Daya a message through WhatsApp. I would love to help you guys. So, one more time. A beef eating Christian girl for a daughter in law. A beef eating Christian girl for a daughter in law. And yes, Aina, you have to give a small explanation, right? It depends on the question, Aina. The explanation depends on the question, right? So for the question, you find the extracts and then you explain each extract briefly. Usually, for an analysis, how many extracts do you need? Only 4 extracts are enough. Absolutely, Aina. Only 4 extracts are enough. Because now we actually write analyses in our class. And you should remember that if you want to write the analysis within half an hour, 4 extracts are perfect. More than 4 will take a lot of time. Less than 4 is not enough. 4 is the sweet spot. Let's keep moving forward. Have you memorized it? A beef-eating Christian girl for a daughter-in-law. A beef-eating Christian girl for a daughter-in-law. 2.5 pages wage Amira. 2.5 pages. Around 500 to 700 words. A little bit more than 500 words is enough. Do you have any links with the people you have set our final literature paper? So, no, Anam, actually, no. Are you asking me that I know the people who are making the literature paper personally? No, I don't, sadly. So, we can keep moving forward, okay? We can keep moving forward. So, tell me, in the beginning, does Jagan like Grace or not? He does, right? Why does Jagan like Grace? Because of her feminine aura, right? Feminine aura. What is aura, by the way? That means the atmosphere. Now, for example, when you are surrounded by positive people, what kind of a person do you become? When your teachers are positive, when your friends are positive, when your parents are positive, when your siblings are positive, you become a positive person. Well done. You become a strong and positive person. But when your teachers are negative, they scold you, they criticize you, they blame you, your parents are negative, your siblings are negative, your friends are toxic, you also become negative, right? Absolutely. And there are more free sessions that we'll be doing. Absolutely. And again, if you guys live in Colombo, if you guys are near Colonava, if you live near Maradana in Colombo, we have a seminar tomorrow, a physical seminar tomorrow. We'll be covering the 4 nature poems. If you live near Kandy, we have physical classes in Kandy as well. Nowadays, Jagan left home late. He had got into the habit of waiting for Grace. He was getting used to the extreme air of orderliness that the feminine touch imparted to one's surrounding. Read this part carefully. Was Grace touching Jagan? Jaganappa, Vangale, and was she touching Jagan? What does feminine touch means? It means feminine aura, okay? The positivity. So once again, one more time, one last time. When a house has pleasant females in it, like mama, dati, auntie, right? When a house, sachi, right? Umama, when a house has responsible women in it, the house becomes pleasant, right? The house is neat. It smells good, right? Smells. Do you think Javed says house smells good? No, right? I have a sister, by the way, Aina. She's in abroad. She's married and she has a kid and she lives abroad. Only one sister, by the way. So when a house has responsible women in it, the house looks good, it is orderly, clean, smells good, organized, food is always ready, right? There are no bad smells. That is what Jagan is experiencing, okay? Yeah, she and her husband, they both work, Aina, yes. So coming back to the point, Jagan finds the positivity of grace. Nowadays, so what chapter have we taken this from? This part, Baba, is taken from chapter number 5. So Jagan, he was getting used to the extreme air of orderliness that the feminine touch imparted to one's surrounding. The extreme air of orderliness that the feminine touch imparted to one's surrounding. That means grace brought negativity into Jagan's life, or did she bring positivity into Jagan's life? Oh, no, my mom is dead, by the way, Amira. My parents are dead, by the way. All right. Not that my mom isn't positive. My mom is dead. So that's sad. So coming back to the point, I live alone, by the way. At home, I'm alone. But don't come to Javed's house. But I live alone. So as I was saying, grace brings positivity into Jagan's life. That's completely fine, by the way, Nangi. Everyone's life is different, so we can learn from other people's lives. So as I was saying, the feminine touch, right, that grace brings into Jagan's life is positive. But tell me, is Grace doing this because she likes Jagan, or does Grace have ulterior motives? What do you guys think? Oh no, my mum passed away in 2014, Aina. Mum passed away in 2014, 10 years ago. And dad also. Dad passed away in 2015. It's been 10 years since they are gone. So, exactly, I was 19. You're right. Yeah, I was 19. So, I was like 18, 19 when they passed away. So, do you see, Nangis, that Grace has ulterior motives? She wants Jagan to invest money in Mali's story writing machine factory, right? So this is how Jagan recognizes Grace. He calls her a good girl. I don't know much about you, Grace. Even now, I don't know much about you except that you are a good girl. You can memorize that. I don't know much about you except that you are a good girl. So Jagan, if you can't memorize the entire thing, you can memorize only 2 words. What does Jagan call Grace? A good girl, right? I don't know much about you except that you are a good girl. Jagan thinks that Grace is a good girl. We can move forward, by the way. There are some more slides, okay? There are some more slides, but then let's focus on the important slides. All right? Let's focus on the important slides. Here, now this is the most important slide of the presentation. This shows Jagan's understanding of grace and the transformation. So in the beginning, Jagan thought that Grace was a good girl. But then gradually, he starts realizing that she wants him to invest money in Mali's story writing machine factory. As ever, look at these parts. These are very important, okay? If you want to learn about Grace's character thoroughly, you guys can go through these 4 extracts. These extracts are taken from chapter number 6, okay? all four of these extracts are taken from chapter number 6. As ever, Jagan had two opposite feelings: appreciation for Grace's interest in Mali and resentment at her effort to involve him in their business. So can you guys understand? What does Grace want from Jagan? She wants to make Jagan a what partner? Life partner or business partner? Jagan wants to make Grace wants to make Jagan his, her or their business partner. Jagan doesn't like that, right? Now imagine if you had a friend who asks you for money every day, you're going to start to resent that friend, right? What do you mean by resent? Not resent, resent. What do you mean by resent? Like or hate? Hate, right? Hate. This is a fictional story, by the way, Hafsa. Remember, all three of the novels in your syllabus fall under fiction. That means all three of the novels are not real stories. Under your syllabus, we don't call them novels, we call them fiction, right? In the provincial paper, in the term test, you might have seen that the novels are under the fiction category, not the novel category, which means all three novels are fictional stories. As ever, Jagan had two opposite feelings, right? Jagan had two opposite feelings: appreciation for Grace's interest in Mali and resentment at her effort to involve him in their business. An occasional misgiving tainted Jagan's thoughts. Might not Grace's interest, friendliness, and attentiveness be a calculated effort to win his dollars? What does this mean? Why does Grace want Jagan? What is the main motive of Grace? Grace wants Jagan's money, right? Yeah, I've got relatives, but they're not very close, Ammar, because now I'm 30 years old, right? So it's not like I can sit on the lap of my auntie and Ummamma, right? So I have relatives, but they're not that close. It's proven, right? Can you Nangis and Malis understand that literature is like a lawyer's subject? You've got to prove, right? You got to prove whatever you talk about. So there is proof in this situation, all right? It shows that Jagan suspects Grace of wanting his money, right? The word is dollars. What is dollars? Dollars is American currency, right? Again, American money is what dollars means, right? Dollars is American currency. What does 67 mean, Ammar? Why is 67? I mean, Shri Ram. Why is 67 important? I thought 69 would be a better number. One more time. Might not Grace's interest, friendliness, and attentiveness be a calculated effort to win Jagan's dollars? What is the reason why does Grace want Jagan? Grace wants Jagan for his money. She wants Jagan to invest American dollars into Mali's story writing machine factory founding. For once, he saw Grace's eyes unlit with a smile. It was impassive. Is she a good girl or a bad one? Jagan asked within himself. I wish I could decide. So Jagan is conflicted. Jagan does not know whether Grace is a good girl or a bad one. Why does Jagan think that Grace is bad? What does Grace want from Jagan? She mainly wants his dollars, right? Grace mainly wants Jagan to invest money in Mali's story writing machine factory. So when Mali and Grace trouble Jagan for money, what does Jagan say? Can you guys guess and tell me? Now, when you ask your dada for something and you keep asking him, dada vangi tangale, dada ayo, dada vangi tangale, what will you dada say? Enkita salli illa, right? He would say that he does not have money. Does Jagan tell Grace and Mali that he does not have money? Yes. Jagan says, I am a poor man. You can memorize this extract also. I am a poor man. Why does Jagan say that? Because Grace and Mali trouble him for money, right? Is Jagan really a poor man, though? What do you guys think? No, right? It's called the vendor of sweets, not beggar, right? He has money, he is wealthy, but he says that he is a poor man because he becomes frustrated by Grace and Mali pestering him for money so much. What happens to Grace in the end, though? What happens to Grace in the end, though? Does Mali accept Grace as his wife, or does Mali want to send Grace back to America? Sad. I told you to pack her off some weeks ago, but you grudge the expenditure, said Mali. She is not in her right mind. She must go to a psychiatrist. So Grace's story ends as a tragedy, right? It ends as a tragedy. We're almost done, by the way. It's 6 o'clock. We're out of time, but I believe that I have given you a clear vision of Grace's character. She's introduced as Mali's wife. She is a casteless, beef-eating Christian girl. Jagan starts to like Grace, right? He starts to develop a liking for Grace, right? Yet, Grace tries to fulfill the role of an Indian daughter-in-law. But sadly, Grace's story ends as a tragedy because Mali wants to pack Grace off to, send Grace off to America. I told you to pack her off some weeks ago, but you grudge the expenditure, said Mali. She is not in her right mind. She must go to a psychiatrist. This is found in chapter number 11, right? I'm sweating a lot because I'm giving my 100% Ammar. I'm giving, I really want you guys to learn. So my sacrifice comes out as sweat. So I'm not chilleke teaching, right? I'm really trying to push the message through the microphone. That's why I'm sweating a lot. So I'm sure you guys have a lot of questions, right? The first thing is, we're going to have a few seminars, all right? We have online seminars. We have physical seminars in Colombo, Kandy. Tomorrow, we have our physical seminars in Colombo Yatra, in Kolonna Yatra. And then on the day after tomorrow, we have a physical seminar, the same physical seminar in Maradana Yatra. We have online seminars, we teach physical classes, we have regular online classes, physical classes in Kandy and in Colombo. We have a seminar series coming up in Kandy. I am originally from Colombo, so if you live in Colombo, you can join Javed Daya's physical classes. This is only one of many free sessions, okay? Now again, we teach, teaching is my job, but it's also my passion. So I'm not doing this for the money. There will be more free sessions where we will be covering poetry. We'll be focusing on other novels. We'll be covering parts of the drama. We'll be covering the short stories. So if you want to join the upcoming free sessions or paid sessions, drop a message through WhatsApp. Here is the number. One last time, 779639434. And also, don't forget to drop a message if you have doubts about the syllabus, if you have doubts about other lessons, if you want to request any more free seminars regarding lessons that you are not aware of, if you have if you want to be in the loop, right? If you want to access future seminars, drop us a message. And don't forget, if you want the PDF of this session, of this lesson, because remember, we roughly talked about this document. This is an in-depth document that will teach you all about Grace's character. All right? So, as I was saying, I want you guys to remember that you can reach out to Javed sir whenever you like, okay? You can take a screenshot, by the way. You can reach out to Javed Daya whenever you want. I'll be happy to help you. And also, if you guys can do me a favor and send me an honest feedback about the seminar, things that you liked, things that you did not like, things that you want to suggest, things that you've learned about. If you want to send me an honest feedback about the seminar, good or bad, okay? Good or bad, completely fine. I am so proud to be called your teacher today. It was a short session, but I will see you guys in future sessions. Send us the feedback through WhatsApp, by the way, okay? That would be really appreciated. Until next time, Nangis and Mallis, stay safe. Don't forget the number, 779639434. 779639434. I'll see you guys in our next session. Until then, take care and all the best.